And today we have someone special in the studio. We have a guest who is going to be saying a lot that will benefit everybody listening tonight on the show. I'm Daisy, by the way.
I am Spotlight.
And Spotlight also is in the studio. But we have, how do I describe him now? Like, I've met him one time, like some hours, some minutes ago.
Yes.
Yeah, so well, I do have some details about him. He's a trained accountant. He graduated with a first-class degree in accounting in 1985 from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria, and he became an associate member of ICANN in 1989. Now, he obtained a postgraduate diploma in management in 1995 from Maastricht School of Management. He also attended the Oxford University Advanced Management Program in 2002. He's worked as the financial controller of Nigerian Development Company Limited, Kaduna, until he joined Now Merchant Bank Plc, where he served as the financial controller and treasurer, respectively, between 1996 and 2001. Now, this special guest of ours has had a brief stint with Inland Bank, where he served as the General Manager, Banking Services, before rejoining Now Bank as Deputy General Manager and Head, Business and Financial Advisory Group. Now, there's a lot to say about him, to be honest, yeah? And as you're hearing these things, you know that he's someone very important. And we brought him to Cool FM Kano. He also joined Jaiz International in 2005 as a pioneer staff and was a key member of the team that led the process leading to the licensing of Jaiz Bank Plc in 2011. Now, he served as General Manager, Business Development from January 2012 till April 2013 and was Executive Director in charge of Operations and Information Technology prior to the appointment as the Managing Director and CEO in June 2016. He's a Fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, and his name is Hassan Usman. You're very welcome to the show, sir.
I'm happy to be here with you this evening.
It's so good to have you join us. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, how often do you come to Kano?
Very often. I was here last week, actually.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I stayed almost a week.
Okay.
Wow.
Then went back to Abuja. Came back 3 days ago. I went to Hadejia.
Okay.
Tuesday, I slept in Tuesday yesterday to today. So I'll be back.
You move around a lot.
No wonder the weather in Kano has been different. I think it's your presence that has just made everything very different. Anyways, it's good to have you here on Cool FM.
And he's going to be talking about this Hajj Savings Scheme that Jaiz Bank is doing in collaboration with National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, which was launched in Kano on the 4th October. And also we'll just learn more about Jaiz Bank and its operations.
Thank you, Daisy and Suleiman, I guess.
Spotlight.
Jaiz Bank as an institution is pioneering a role to provide a gap in banking in Nigeria, where hitherto to the establishment of Jaiz, we had only conventional banks that do banking in the traditional way, yes, where they give loans, they charge interest, they compound it, and if you are lucky, you become in trouble because there is no limit to what a loan can be if it is not service. Of course, there is this yearning big gap in this area, especially because for some in business, in finance, there is some level of morality that they needed to observe, and borrowing or lending with interest is amoral in some people's way of life. In specific terms, the Islamic religion, for example, forbade you lending on interest, just like the Christian and religion.
Judaism, yeah.
So for these people having to interact with the bank those who adhere to the principles having to interact with the bank, especially when they have to either invest with the bank or borrow, because that is when they will see the incidence of interest. It's a big problem, and that is why the whole concept of Jaiz was initiated way back 2000 and 2003. There was a IPO to raise capital to establish an institution that will provide this type of finance, which is founded on the basis of non-interest and also ethical, because these are the two components that you have in an institution like Jaiz. It's non-interest because you do not lend. Rather, what you do with your customers is you do what civilization was known to do, trade.
Okay.
Because before lending, the first thing the people get to do between each other is to exchange.
Yes.
They trade. Yes, exactly. So the trading is the main instrument with which a non-interest bank or an Islamic bank operates. So people who want something that they cannot afford today, they buy on credit or they lease. Or if what they want to do is such that the bank can be persuaded, interested to join hand, then they can put capital together between the customer, collaborate, the customer and the bank putting capital, which they call joint venture. So these are fundamentally the instruments or the contracts that we use to do Islamic finance. It's not, you say it's non-interest, but those are the basis. Okay. So we don't earn profit by lending to get interest. Rather, we transact business. And there are consequences, different consequences.
Okay.
When you lend, you charge an interest, just as conventional bank would do,
yes.
And it will be there. But when you sell, you can't change the price, because selling is known to be a definitive transaction that is dead on arrival. You cannot sell something to someone and tomorrow you said I've changed the price.
Yes.
So you can only get the price even if you have deferred the payment. Likewise, if you lease or rent something to someone like a house, you are only entitled to a rent. You don't have an entitlement over and above the rent, because maybe the rent has been delayed by a week or 2 or 3. You can collect back your property, but you cannot get any other entitlement. So this is one aspect of non-interest banking. The second aspect is that you try to share risk as much as possible between partners. So it's not you tilt the contract against your customer, so you always are on top. The contract has to be balanced and around risk sharing. The third thing is that it has to be ethical. You cannot transact any business with customers if the business is harmful to society generally, or there are some specific products that are considered harmful because their consumption, the impact of their consumption will create either health or social issues. So this, you can say, are the fundamentals around non-interest and Islamic finance. Now, so we tried floating this, and this effort was successful. In 2011, we opened our doors, and if you recall, we had 3 branches. We started with 3 branches: Abuja, Kaduna, and Kano. And today we have 40 branches. Wow. We started as a regional institution around northeast and northwest. Today we have national franchise, so we have branch in Port Harcourt, in Ibadan, Osogbo, Lagos, of course. So we've at least have demonstrated that this type of financial intermediation is possible, and that is also it has its value that it creates. We've helped to bring many more people into the financial inclusion net. More and more people have been able to now open accounts that otherwise they would not do because they didn't want to patronize the traditional banks.
True. Okay. Now, we're going to open the phone lines so you can ask questions at some point. We'll also take messages as we continue. You have the WhatsApp number 0809 526 7102. You can message us on WhatsApp, or you can call us up once we open the phone line so that he can take some calls. 0808 049 1969, 0808 125 2160. Now, as we continue, I would love to ask this. For every time someone hears Islamic financing, I mean, what pops into your head is, okay, I'm not a Muslim. Yes. Can I come? Some people don't even, once they hear it, they don't even want to contemplate whether or not they can actually access, funds from that. Yes. So
exactly.
I think that's a wrong notion because, again, I always say if I go to the market, because, like I said, the non-interest of Islamic bank is a market. When you go to the market, is it Kano market, or you go to Onkarin in Lagos, or wherever you go, you don't ask about the faith of the people you want to buy.
Yes.
You just look for a bargain.
Okay.
That's all you do.
Just business. Yes.
Business. You look for a bargain. So we don't ask about religion. We don't ask about faith. We only say we are selling. And so also when we are getting our associates, our brothers and sisters that we work with, we don't ask about so we have Muslims and non-Muslims working for Jaiz. We have several hundreds of customers that are from all part of the divide. No, we don't ask about that.
About the religion.
Yes, it's and like I said, it's not only the Islamic religion that says no interest.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Yes, it's also all the religions. Perhaps maybe in this sanctuary or
this time.
Yes, this time it is the Islamic faith that identify this as a market and try to exploit that market.
Okay. Now I'm going to move on to asking this. I know that sometimes, or for some time, you can want to have a loan or get a loan, and then you're being profiled somehow. If you're not working for the public body, you can't get this, or federal this, you can't get this. If you're private, you can't get this. Does it also work like that?
Yes. The profiling is banking is about the financial intermediation. You take deposits from people on trust, and then you do business with customers, and you want the money to come back eventually.
Definitely.
So that if anybody who keeps money with you he can get it, and he can also get his profit that you earn during the period. So the profiling is not about discrimination. It's just to ensure that, first of all, you have capacity, and the institution that you work for.
Yes.
Because also the different products. Some of these products will not ask you for a collateral. So the only thing that they are looking for is you have a genuine employment from an institution that they will look for tomorrow. They will still see it. It's still there. It's an institution that is known and it's sound. It will not just disappear tomorrow, and then you will lose your job, and you will not be able to repay.
Okay. Now, what about people who are self-employed?
Yes. Okay. So in a bank, what you do when you meet with different categories of customers, those who have salary and they have domiciled the salary, so you know this is the type of risk you are taking on this, and this is the type of structure you can set for them. And you may not do too much about due diligence or assessment or appraisal. You know this is how this will work out. Now, if somebody comes with a small enterprise, you also have different kind of
like
engagement. The engagement will be different because you now have to look at the business, look at his feasibility studies,
duration,
what he's been experienced, his competence in that type of business, what has been the profitability of the business, and what has he invested himself in the business, so that you are not just staking or throwing people's money into a business that is not going to be exactly. So different engagement, different people. So if you get a big corporate, for example, you will not be engaging with the big corporate the same way you engage with an SME, for example. So different ideas, different ways.
Okay, it's good that you mentioned business. I know there's so many questions to ask. But before we move into other questions, while you were describing what the whole program is about, you said something about harmful business.
It's okay, except a few type of engagement. For example, non-interest Islamic bank will not deal with a brewer.
Definitely.
If the business is a brewery, for example, we will not even open an account for a brewery at all. Whether they are asking for our financing, that they want to borrow from us, or they want to keep money from. We will not. Similarly, a casino. Or companies that are
gamble.
Gamble or betting. A betting company cannot even use our channels at all. And if a customer uses the channel to pay a betting company and we notice, we ensure that that customer is either close his account or stop. So similar prostitution, companies that produce weapons or drugs that are harmful. So those are the unethical businesses that we will not be engaged with. We will not engage also with those. We won't provide our platform for the people to just even keep their money with us.
All right, you're listening to the Nike Face Spotlight, as you know, and we've been talking with the Managing Director, CEO, Jaiz Bank. His name is Hassan Usman, and we're talking about Hajj Savings Scheme that Jaiz Bank is doing in collaboration with National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. It was launched in Kano on 4th of October. Now, what are the targets? How does it operate? I'm sure people would love to know that.
Well, the Hajj Savings Scheme is a target saving account. When we did program or we talk about it in Hausa, we call it Adashangata. That means it's a privilege, it's a favored gift to the community to have an instrument that allow intending pilgrims to save over short, medium, long term, depending on their capacity and their earning power, which also change with time. So it's a way to democratize the Hajj system, to make it affordable. Let me say this something that is very, very interesting. The creator that for whom we go to Hajj for as a service is not after the physical activities. And whatever we do there, they are provided for our own good. So we meet and know each other. But what is important to the creator is what is in our heart.
True.
So for us, we see this an opportunity for anybody to plan to go to Hajj or to perform Hajj. And in the jurisprudence, if you make an intention to go to do anything, now if you are unable to do that, and your intention were genuine and you have taken steps, and you are unable to do it, you get the full reward of that worship that you intended to do.
Okay.
It's not that you, because again, you cannot wage out the system. The system is such that the Creator knows every aspect of you. So if you actually have a true intention and you eventually were unable to make it, and that's one of, for us, this is the most important aspect of the. So someone who all he can do is to save 1,000 a month towards that.
Yes, that course.
It's the same as somebody who can do 100,000 as far as.
Wow.
In fact, the one with the 1,000 may have a better sublime intention
than the one with the
100.
The one with the 100, and perhaps the one with 1,000 also has his money clean.
Yes,
because
and
that
the other
is also there. So we created this platform to give everybody the chance to perform this important journey, which is once in a lifetime.
Yes.
So, and for us, whether you are eventually able to make it or you are unable to make it because either you're saving 20 years and then your time is up, so you perform Hajj.
Oh, that's amazing.
Beautiful.
I think I also want to know what the process is like.
Okay.
Yes.
So so this is one aspect of the importance of this scheme.
Yes.
The second aspect is the fact that it allows the system of that the Hajj Commission and the State Pilgrims Welfare Board to be able to plan over a long period of time.
Yes, okay.
And you know what planning can create? It can provide more value. It gives you a bargaining power, because you know, for example, the next 5 years, this is the number of possible pilgrims I have.
Yes.
I have most part of the money. I can make commitments with those hotels in the Holy Land.
Accommodation.
Yes. So if you make a commitment for 5 years, imagine, will you pay the same as somebody who is making only commitment 3 months
before?
Or, you know, obviously you have more value creation there because you pay less. You can make commitment with the airlines that will convey and many other things. And on top of it, these monies are going to be aggregated and invested on a longer term to generate a superior return for the pilgrims and for the whole system. So for us, as for the nation, it's good business because it aggregates investable fund that can help development and increase the GDP of the country. So it's all good.
Sounds like a win-win situation.
Situation. Now, the process you ask is just the same as any. If you already have an account with Jaiz, all you need to do is to ask for a special account, which is a target account, savings account, Hajj savings account. So you don't need to do any other thing. If you do not have an account with Jaiz, we have provided those in the rural areas, those in the cities. We know the profiling of the people. Those in the rural areas, they can go to their Hajj office, because in each local government you have a representative of the State Pilgrims Welfare Board that can do that for you. You can also go to any of our branches, and you can also do it on your handset. You can also open
an account.
The account using your mobile phone.
Now, do you need? Cause I think I remembered a friend of mine talking about this some time ago. I couldn't ask him too many questions. I'm sure someone listening right now probably also has the same questions. Documents. Sometimes you're asking some banks to come with this document, that document. I mean, it's just a long process. You have to make sure you have those documents before you can even start to want to get this.
Yes, I understand the issues around KYC. These are legal requirements, but the Hajj Savings Scheme is a targeted account. It's not going to be a transaction account. It's just going to be a deposit account. So you're not going to be using
withdrawing.
You're not going to be withdrawing. You are not going to be sending money out of it. Specific. So we try to reduce the requirement for that. Once you have a BBN and you have your NIM number, that's the identification number, the national identification number. Yes, you can open a Hajj savings account, even if you don't have an account with Jaiz before.
Wow. That's big, right?
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Now, 08095267102. That's the WhatsApp number. Be sure to use it. And also call us up 08080491969. I don't know if you would want to just take a breather for a bit. Let's just take like 2 minutes break so you can breathe for a while. And then we'll come back to continue this conversation. I see that there's a message already on WhatsApp. You can let it just keep coming. We'll attend to all the messages when we're back. It's the Night Cafe.
In case you just tuned in, well, I would say you have missed a lot, but you're still in luck because we still have about 27 minutes to go, thereabouts. So, yes, Daisy is going to reintroduce him.
Yes, definitely. I definitely like to do that.
I know that.
Well, we have with us the Managing Director, CEO of Jaiz Bank, and his name is Hassan Usman. I'm enjoying every bit of the conversation, and I'm getting so much information, things I didn't even know before now, and the conversation continues. Don't forget to use the WhatsApp number and also the phone lines. Call us up, so you can take your answers before he leaves. Your questions before he leaves the studio. Now, we've heard about the savings. We've heard about the savings scheme, the Hajj Savings Scheme. The one that Jaiz Bank is doing in collaboration with National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. We've also talked about Jaiz Bank, its operations, and a few other things. Now, I want to know what happens when the person who's contributing, what happens to when there's an issue of maybe loss of life? What happens at the time?
Well, there are always eventualities. Life is not certain. And we factor that also in this program. If anybody unfortunately couldn't make it and he died, and usually in banking you always will ask for the next of kin, and they will present the case. And if he has left a will, of course they will follow that process. But it's only Muslims that go for Hajj. So, and I know that in the Islamic religion, most of the distribution of somebody's wealth is already identified. Yes, you can make some will outside those who can inherit you, but it's left to the family to say, okay, we nominate someone to do the Hajj for him because he wanted to make Hajj. If they have a consensus, they can do that. They can also say, give us the money, and we'll give them the money, or they can whatever instruction we receive as a bank
from the family.
Yeah, from the family. That's what we do.
Wow, that's amazing, right?
Amazing.
Yes, it is. Now, I want to also talk about the loan from Jaiz Bank. I want to know when the person can meet up due to maybe dire circumstances or situations. What happens?
Okay, the way you handle people's money, which is bank's money.
Yes.
First of all, depending on the type of facility, if it's like a wholesale facility, a corporate facility, a company will come and it will provide collateral. So you will go through the process of either giving them more time, or eventually if they either don't have the willingness, because you have to look at willingness. There is willingness to pay. If there is a willingness to pay, then the bank will bend backwards to accommodate a customer, because that's what is required of it. To work out the process. You call it a walkout. So you try this. Sometimes you even give the person more money, more facilities, so that he can
put it into his own business.
And because you have to study the situation,
Yes.
you study why
He can't meet up.
he is unable to. Now, there are times when there is nothing you can do. You then have to fall back on the collateral. But for micro and consumer situation, for example, you are a salaried person, your salary is delayed by 1 week, 2 weeks. There is nothing we can't charge you for that, because what we did was a sell to you, and this is not your fault. So we will wait.
Does the same apply to someone who lose their job? Like you lose your job? When
you lose your job, it depends also on what is the terminal benefits that you are getting. The terminal benefits is also part of what the company or your institution has committed to sending. So if all of this also cannot, then the bank has to wait until you get another job.
Wow.
All right.
So considerate.
So I know that in Nigeria, this non-interest bank, I mean, this thing is I don't think a lot of people know about it. But how would you describe the acceptability of non-interest banking in Nigeria, generally? Well,
I think based on the newness of this, because again we are talking of only 8 years.
It's still like
fresh.
The other banks are here 100 plus years. Based on what we've seen, because in terms of growth, we've been growing at more than 30% year on year since we started. No institution, of course, we are small at the start, so a 30% is probably not as big as a 1% of a big bank.
Yes.
But it gives you an understanding of the level of take on by the public. Wherever we go, you see people queuing to come and open an account, the general public. And at the beginning, of course, we were hesitant, especially those who have the means.
Yes.
Because, those who have money, they like to keep it so close to the... so they wanted to see this experiment. Is it going to happen? Is it going to... And now open a normal account, and then we put that money in the normal account where you have the KYC,
and then you can withdraw
from it.
Wow.
But what you have to know is that the system would have now taken you back, because the Hajj system is going to be a queuing system. It also will allow the Hajj Commission to plan, to know who comes first. So when it's allocating Hajj seats, if you withdraw, it means you are going back to start all over.
Yes. Wow.
That's cool.
That's amazing.
All right,
now the second question before then, don't forget. Sorry, sir, can I pause you, sir, before you answer Kazim's question? I want to read out the numbers again in case they don't have the numbers or I did it too fast. 0808-049-1969 or 0808-125-2160. You have the managing director of Jaiz Bank in the house right now. It means you have the chance to ask him questions before he leaves the studio. All right, so the next question.
Kazim, as a teacher, yes, all you need is to ensure that you have an account, you domicile your salaries into that account, and you ask for your choice of appliances, a home, even mortgage, depending on how your salary and the time you are looking at paying back. So we will look at the salary itself, the value of the item, and we take a decision. But teachers are not excluded. We have various programs. For example, teachers wanting to own. First of all, they want to have a house, but then they know that buying a house may be difficult, so they go for land first. So they buy the land. After paying for the land, then they now come to us and say, okay, we want now to build. So we buy the building materials and we sell to them on credit. Over time, from the salary they will pay. So they start to build, and then gradually, as they finish, we are also deducting the money from their salary.
Okay,
so
let's take another question. 969 Cool, your name and where you're calling from.
All right. My name is Abdurrahman Hassan from Tili Murtala.
All right, Abdurrahman, it's good to have you on the show. Abdurrahman, go ahead with your question.
All right, my question is that what are the categories of people that are qualified to open an account for this Hajj?
Okay.
That's my question. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdurrahman.
All right, sir.
I can go for that.
Yes,
you can.
Abdurrahman, this is a very interesting question because it's something I jumped to. Everybody is qualified. In fact, not only that you can open a Hajj savings account, but you are one day child. You give birth to, you can name the person, you can open an account
for that child.
Wow.
Okay.
And that child, you can start to save for the child.
Okay.
And perhaps you are able to get enough money by the time the child is able to travel. Or you are unable to, so you surrender the account and the child will continue to do his savings until he is able to
travel.
All right, let's take another call.
Yes. Okay. Your name, where are you calling from?
My name is Bashir, calling from Goron, Kano City.
You're very welcome, Bashir. So ask your question.
Okay, the question I wanted to ask is that I had a corporate account with Jaiz Bank since 2005.
Okay.
2007.
2005, actually.
Yes, since 2012. It's an orphanage account.
Okay.
Yes, we have a foundation in my place. We just decided to help the orphan by providing them with school fees and whatever they needed for their own schooling.
Okay.
So since we opened the account, we have to endorse some referees.
Okay.
So the referees, we had given their name about, then they could not, the Jaiz Bank tried to meet their bank so that they could be sure of the current account with the banks. But unfortunately, the banks could not respond. So since then, we have not been given anything like a check or ATM or whatever. We have been spent then, and we have deposited money into the account. Yet we could not be able to access the money we have in the account. What process can we follow, Mr. MD, to get through this problem?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bashir. In 2012, the verification of referees was manual.
Okay.
Perhaps you have not been to the bank for quite a while. Today, verification is automatic. So once you you have the reference, there is a portal. We put them on the portal, and within 48 hours, if the banks do not respond, we take it as valid reference. So it's been simplified. Yes, there was problem. Banks were refusing to. Then when we started, they were refusing to respond to our reference. I remember that. But please, Bashir, go to your branch or any branch that is nearest you now, and reactivate this process. Come with the 2 referees. We'll put them on the portal, and in 48 hours you can get your account done.
Wow, that's fast. Right, that's fast. You can still call us up. We still have some time, even though we're actually going to wrap up very soon. But I feel like with the questions asked, I know that there are some things that MD will still want to talk about. Quickly address them as we wrap up.
Okay, I still want to emphasize 2 things.
All right.
Our SMEs, people doing don't belittle your business, no matter how small it is. I have said this, but I want to emphasize it. The only way you grow is to get funding. Funding from a financial institution is very critical, and I know that most people refuse to get funding in this part of the country because they don't want to pay interest. Now you have a bank that will not charge you interest. They will do a sale to you, only profit or lease to you, so you don't have that problem. Don't belittle your business, no matter how small it is. Open an account, operate that account, because now there are programs And banks also are working very hard to ensure that they work with SMEs, because the SMEs are the engine of growth for any country in the world today. They are the ones that can employ more hands. They can also be family businesses, but they employ people and they generate activity. So we are ready to partner with you to grow your business, providing the right mix of funding at appropriate time. For the Hajj Savings Scheme, this is a golden opportunity for all intending all Muslims. Yes. For me, it's for everybody now. No one has any excuse not to intend to go to Hajj, because you have a program that you can start with ease. You don't have to sell a property to go for Hajj. You can plan it over time like other countries do. The Malaysians, the Indonesians, they don't just wake up today and say, I'm going to Hajj. They plan, they save over time, and they are saving accrue profit. Yes. And it's so two ways of increasing the value of what they are saving, either from the savings they are making or the profit that they are. And the fact that since the authorities have this money for a long time, Hajj becomes more affordable and makes easy. Moreover, you can plan this for your wife, for your mother, for your children, and any of your brothers you want to initiate into this process. You can kickstart the process and hand over the account to them.
Yes. Continue with it.
To continue. So you have help in doing good.
Yes.
And we all know that if you assist somebody to do good, you also have the same type of reward as the person who actually does it.
Oh, nice. So this one has been on my mind. Do you finance agriculture? If yes, I mean, tell us about it.
Yes. Agriculture is also one area beside the SME that we are focusing, because by the nature of the location we started, this is the major activity. What we are doing, we are working with world organizations, NGOs, first to ensure that they equip the farmers we are working with best practice, so that they can increase the productivity. We have a pilot program in Kura where we are working with about 250 farmers to first of all upgrade their farming practice through the NGO that we are working with, and then we provide the financing to provide the inputs and what have you, and then we uptake whatever they produce, because we also have companies that are milling rice, for example. So we have this process, and in town we also have a program with those artisans that work with leather products.
Yes, leather products.
So we have organized them into a group, working also with this NGO to create market and also ensure that we put them in cluster to buy the machineries that they can use.
Yes.
One person cannot buy that machine, but if you have clusters, they can buy one machine and can
use it.
So and that increase the quality, and it provide employment for more people. So farming is an area we have significant growth in our portfolio, both in the processing and also in the growing. We are gradually increasing our uptake of activities in that area.
I mean, that's very detailed. I've learned so much. I'm sure you also have. And in case you just tuned in, I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't know what to say.
Now that you've mentioned, you know what, let's just take one. Maybe we'll
just
take one
last
final call
because we have to wrap up.
Yes. 969, cool. Your name and where are you calling us from?
His name is A1, calling from Okwe.
All right, A1. Quickly, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, let me pull over. Thank you. Now, the thing is, most banks, they advise you to come get loans. When you go there, it happens that the repayment system is very rigid. You find out that at the end of the day, you are just working for the bank. So I don't know. Yes, is there own conditions, terms and conditions regards loan flexible? How is it like? And how is the payment method like? Because last time I my friend that works in a particular bank had advised me to come get loan, and I read the terms and conditions. It was outrageous, and it just made me not want to even think about collecting loans. So I don't think if they could educate us or me as to how theirs is like, I might be, who knows.
All right, A1.
All right, A1, thank you.
A1, I think this is a coded name. Thank you for your question. Really, it's not everybody that needs to borrow from a bank. But it's important for you to be in a position to borrow when the need arises. And that's why we say just open an account. If you don't have a need that will justify, because a bank is a business, it has running costs, it has also partners, those people who bring the deposit. So it has to take into consideration the cost of running the business, sharing profit with the depositors, and making a profit out of all the activity. So in determining what type of markup, because what we do, we either charge you a rent or we sell to you with our own markup. In deciding all of that, we take into consideration all these items, the customer who deposit the money, the system that needed to be run. So we take all of this. But then in scheduling how you pay, we also interact. It's not something that the bank will just give you like a fiat. The bank looks at what is your earning capacity. If you're a salary person, it will make sure that you still have enough money to run your day-to-day. It's not that the bank will take everything. So it's the discussion you have with your bank manager that will come up with the payment schedule. And if the payment schedule is not workable, you then can come back to say, look, these are the things. But you must come with a justifiable reason why the payment schedule needed to be changed, either because the market has conditions have changed. Like, for example, when the COVID came, many people are at home. So what do you do? You have to actually change the payment schedule even before the customers ask. You tell them, So it's just that a bank also wants a disciplined business person. That when he makes commitment, he lives with those commitments, because they also help your credit score. It does. Eventually.
All right.
Well, I think you have a final question. I'll ask mine off air. Just ask yours.
Oh, okay. No,
I'm very considerate, like Jaiz Bank.
I understand.
So ask your question.
No, it's not really a question. I was just hoping that there are people who just tuned in towards the late hour of the show, and I'm sure they would want to make inquiries like. All of the information that you give out, some people came really late. Where can they get all of this information that you have given? Because I'm sure they have questions also. Some people are just very shy to make a call on radio.
In Kano, we have 5 branches. We have Tapa Balewa, we have Bello Road, we have Hotoro, we have Zoo Road, and we have Kabuga. Because of time, we will not be able to give all the addresses, but they are prominently placed in those areas. Jaiz is also well known in Kano, because we also have those branches are in different corners of the city. If you go there and you ask, you'll be provided with all the information on how to engage. You can also go to our website. You can see the first type of information about what we do, what are the products, how they operate, where you can find us, the addresses. We also have the Facebook, Instagram, and the Facebook of Jaiz, and also we have a contact center that you're in lock. It's 070-8063-5555. You call anytime 24/7. Somebody will be there to attend to you.
All right, you're in lock. The number 0708 063 5555. 0708 063 5555. There'll be someone right there competent to attend to you, answer all your questions. We've been talking for like 1 hour now,
yes.
and that's good time for any information. Yes, as you know, we always love to bring this close to you. Thank you very much, MD sir, for coming around and stopping by at Cool FM to answer all those questions and also to enlighten people on the operations of the Jaiz Bank, and also to tell us about this National Hajj Scheme that's sounding very pleasing to my ears. I mean, the Hajj Savings Scheme. So thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much, both of you. You've been great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, now the night cafe continues. You know, destination time is 1 a.m. Spotlight and I'll be back for round table. And you know what? How about we just pay some bills and the show continues.
Exactly.
Hello, Kano, Nigeria. What's going on? It's me, Miss Good Company. SOPHRE, baby.